Okay, this is going to be a quick one. So question number 3, somebody messaged in and asked about Admob. Do you know any alternative to Admob ads? My account was suspended. So here's the thing with Admob. I haven't used Admob in years. Back in Flappy Bird days and some other other games that we did that were similar to not Better to Flappy Bird, but we did some like those simple arcade games. And let's see here. Let's see here real quick. Let me give you an idea. So we did. Okay, anyway, basically we just did little banners. So if there were arcade games where you're flipping around, you look at Chupa Mobile, we had a template we sold for a while. This was a lot of fun. I can't remember which game inspired this, but we would do these like little games where you'd have to dodge things. So of course, like an ad, you could put right here, you could put down here. And then there was also some swing games we did back in the day, and Admob was great because you could have them click on it, while they were playing the game, either accidentally or see the ad. There was always an ad. But we don't have games like that anymore, and honestly, I don't use Admob, so I'm not really in the arcade market right now, and that kind of those types of ads. The biggest concern I have is not what Admob's doing these days. Honestly, I have no idea. I'm sure, you can get reasonable eCPMs. I'm sure you can maybe filter ads. I'm sure there's a lot of things you can do. I was going to say this. I'm sure you can integrate with anything you want and maybe mediate ads. But the biggest part of this question, like I said, that sort of worries me is why you got suspended. So it's similar to, getting into the Google thing. Why is your app suspended? Well, I would start there. Instead of worrying about what ad network you can put back in your app, maybe figure out why you got suspended. So again, I'm kind of assuming I'm not trying to blame people. I'm not saying like, oh, if you got suspended or if you got rejected or whatever you got labeled as spam, that you're doing something wrong. I'm saying the majority of people that I've talked to and met that have been in a situation that sucked, maybe they got banned by like Chartboost. Remember when that happened a year and a half ago? Maybe Admob, maybe your app in Google got removed. Most of the people that I've talked to, the majority of people, and I don't mean like over the internet, I mean in person, at events, app developers, friends, they were doing something a little, I don't want to say shady, but it was in the gray area. It's either at least in the gray area or it was, shady or somewhere in the middle. Sure, there was people that got wrongly screwed, and I'm sure, maybe I will as well. I mean, we've had situations, nothing that broke us. But usually like, oh yeah, that would make sense. Or it's a misunderstanding. But very rarely is it just like somebody's like, oh yeah, we're gonna ban your account, or there's usually something going on. There's either an algorithm or a computer that's tripping something, the red flag's going up, or whatever. But if you're doing something legit and you get screwed, then obviously you got to voice your opinion and reach out and make it right. Or if not, then you go to another SDK. So if we're going to assume that you were, wrongly suspended, well, let's check this out. Here it is again. Google alternatives to Admob. This comes up. There you go. So check out those, check out the blog posts, and see if there's a good fit for what you're doing. It looks like, depending on if you're using Unity, and what kind of game you have, it's going to depend on what kind of ads you're going to display. Most ads these days are going to be not banner ads. Like even this is a small little ad. It doesn't take up the whole screen. I can't imagine banner ads doing very good. And as far as the types of games you're into, again, not trying to sway you over, but I remember seeing eCPMs of like $2 to $3 on banner ads back in the day. I don't know what they are now. Obviously, there's variables in what kind of game you have, how good a game you have, how related the ads are, how much filtering you're doing. but $2 to $3 in eCPM, compare that to over $100 in casino games that you can do with Chartboost and I'm sure other platforms like AppLovin and things like that. So do you want to make $2 to $3 or over 100? One other thing to note, I remember looking back at the eCPMs on AppLovin back in the day when I was doing party slot reskins and looking at like, okay, so what I was saying is I remember back when I was doing some party slot reskins and I looked back, this is more, the reskins were from years ago, but I was looking at my AppLovin account like a few months ago and I was looking at overall eCPM, again with games that didn't really have a lot of value. I mean, people liked them, but it just, to me, when you look at the comparison of mega jackpot slots and high-end casino games now, it's crazy. But anyway, the overall eCPM for some of these casino games with no filtering or anything was like $15, which is still good when you think about it. But I think the account that I looked at totaled up the amount for those few reskins was something like, I think it was $5,000 to $8,000. I think it was like $8,000. So $8,000 back in the day when I was doing this part-time with reskins. I know this is simple math, but let's just use a calculator so I don't have to think. So 8 times, so what I was looking at is eCPM. So 8 times 8, well, that's 64. Okay, so if 15, let's just say $15 eCPM compared to 120 or whatever I just typed in, it's 8 times better. So if I would have been using some of the methods that I've been using now, and getting higher eCPM, that $8,000 could have been $64,000, and that's, it's just crazy to me. So I mean, when we're looking at a few dollars eCPM to whatever game you're doing with Admob, before you get suspended, to 15-20 with AppLovin back in the day, which I think a lot of people doing AppLovin with casino now are doing 50 eCPM, 60. And then over 100, if you're really good, maybe 150, 200, and that might be up and down some days. It's crazy. So my takeaway from this question is, what did you do to get suspended? 2, if you don't care about that, then check the blog or the video. Check what I brought up in Google or Google alternatives to Admob. And number 3, consider the apps you're doing that you're worried about Admob, because I don't worry about Admob because I don't think that it's probably paying out. It's one of those things where, like, if you have 1 million downloads, sure, like, it'll seem like good money, but if you know, if you're getting 1,000 downloads, you can still make, or less, you can still make really good money with casino games. So I would consider looking at different options, or maybe paid apps, photo apps, emoji apps, things like that. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Okay, number 4. Jay asks about spam that we talked about a little bit. Number 1, I should have ordered those differently, but I didn't, so we're rolling with it. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about spam apps or Apple rejecting apps citing spam. Is this true and something I should be worried about? So 1, it's true, of course. It isn't new though. Over the last year, Apple's been getting rid of shitty apps, right? They get rid of apps that have been abandoned. They get rid of apps that aren't in compliance with different newer iOS versions. I'm sure there's a lot of things that trigger, like no downloads, bad reviews, no user activity, no active users. I'm sure there's tons of things, but as far as in their reasoning for it, yeah, they're just going to remove shitty apps. I mean, they're not going to say that, but that's what they're doing. So I've already mentioned it in a previous, I think question number 1 on our blog back in August last year. Posted the cleansing wave of Apple, reducing spam and reskins, what you need to know, so read it. And it's funny because I posted this, and then like a few days later, Mark over at Blue Cloud Solutions, he was the guy that was always like behind the scenes. He's a guy at the events. I met him actually my first app developer event, Blue Cloud Hawaii, I think, and then ended up going to Amsterdam that same year. And then the next year I went to, I can't remember the timing, but I went to Hawaii again. And then also he had one in San Francisco. So I went to all 4 of these events. Each one I got to know Mark a little bit better. And then we ended up kind of working together on some projects, and we still are to this day. So Mark's a cool dude. But it was funny, a few days later, literally 4 days later, Mark puts out this blog post on Blue Cloud Solutions, which is very similar. But the cool part about it is, whatever I was talking about, and I don't remember, honestly, my position. I mean, I remember my position, but I don't know, like, all the information I cited here or gave. He has a different view. Not saying that he has a different view, but I'm saying his is going to be a little bit different, and you might get something else out of this. So, like, look at this. So, what app is spam? So that's good to know. So how cool is it? 5 steps to guarantee your app gets approved. So this is huge. I'll probably cite this blog post later in the week based on some things we're doing, just because it's good information, and it's good to know, because people are so worried about spam and rejections and app templates and all this stuff, and you don't stop. And if you're one of these people that has had the problems, you're not going to like what I'm going to say here. But if you're one of the people that's just worrying and you have really no reason to worry because it hasn't happened to you, quit worrying about things and go out and do something and provide value and produce something and put it out there and roll with it from there. Stop worrying about things so much before you get the chance to even know if it's a big deal. So the people, this is how it is. This is when the chart boost bans were going on like a year ago. I'm not saying that everybody that got banned was doing something wrong. They probably had some problems in their algorithm or their privacy thing, or whoever was figuring out what exactly was going wrong. I'm sure there was plenty of people that got screwed on that. In fact, I think a dude I met at I forgot about this. This is really bad. And I don't know if he ever got his money or whatever, but a dude I met, first name John, at the events I ended up having a lot of fun with, he was doing a lot of a chart boost revenue, and I think I'm trying to make sure I got this right. I think his account got closed too, and he didn't seem to be doing anything wrong, at least on the surface. Who knows? I'm not saying that he lied. I'm saying, like, something as simple as having, like, maybe a lot of users in your app coming in from another country could trigger something. So I'm not saying that you're intentionally doing things, but anyway, I think he ended up getting his account closed, and he wasn't doing anything, like he told me, crazy or bad, and he never got his money. At least that was, a year and a half ago, and it was a lot of money, to me, a lot of money to anybody that I think was just frozen or whatever it was. And there was stories at the time. The chart boost was having financial problems, so they were just starting to close accounts, or they're getting more stringent, and then all that money was possibly going to help solve or extend their runway or whatever. But I don't think any of that's probably the case, or we'll never know. But I almost forgot what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, the people that are going to have you worried, and they're commenting in Facebook groups and emails and all this stuff about spam and scam and app templates, they're the people that probably got one of those things because they were doing or abusing the system. They were doing it, or they were abusing the system. They won't tell you all of it. They'll just say, "Oh, this is bullshit. I just got rejected for an app template. There's thousands of other people did it, or my account got banned, my ad account got banned, but I didn't do anything wrong," which I understand this has happened to people, and it could happen to me today, tomorrow, whatever. But usually there's a reason something gets flagged, and regardless if it's intentional or real, there's things that can go wrong and flag these things, and then a manual review will come in to where you're breaking some sort of a policy. And a lot of these policies can be hidden. Weird example, but here's an example how I lost, and I was in the wrong, and it was my fault. Had a pretty nice couch, probably the nicest couch the first nice piece of furniture I ever bought a few years ago, big leather sectional. And more recently, after being out and having no problems, one of our labs chewed a hole through one of the cushions. These aren't removable cushions. This is like the whole sectional piece would have to be taken somewhere, or somebody has to come repair it. I don't know how they're going to repair it. The local, I think I talked about this a little last week, or maybe it was a video of somebody else. But basically, somebody's going to have to come and repair it, and it's a big deal. Luckily, we bought the insurance policy thing when we bought the couch. It was like $400 or $500, $300, I don't know. But unfortunately, the insurance policy, or whatever they call it, that I bought for that couch, unknowingly or knowingly, the saleswoman that sold me this thing, I actually started her upsell pitch with, do you have pets? If you do, you'll want this policy, because if anything's damaged, it's going to be covered if they chew anything up. And she went on like a 1-minute thing, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably going to happen, so yeah, I'll take it. Especially when you're spending, a decent amount of money on a piece of furniture, a few $100 more is not a big deal. So I bought it, no problems. 2 years later, dog chews through the thing randomly. We were gone for 20 minutes, and I submit everything online. It was really easy, took all the pictures, and I was honest. I hate that I was honest. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to be honest. I'm saying that it's like a technicality, and it's bullshit, but it's my fault. They denied it. They said pet damage isn't covered, and then I get on the phone with somebody, real nice lady, not mad at her, just kind of like confused what's going on. And then I'm going over I have the same pamphlet that has like the terms, and I'm like, hey, 3.4, it says blah blah blah, cuts, abrasions, punctures covered. And she's like, yeah, but in 8.2 it says pet damage not covered. Oh, so I don't know if I said this, but the local location we bought it from is no longer a business where we're at. They got bought out by somebody else. They have other locations, but there's not like wasn't as short as I wanted it to be. What I'm saying is, we bought a policy to cover something that isn't covered, and regardless if the woman that sold it to us knew that maybe, hey, like conversions, I doubt it was this advanced, but like conversions are usually better on the $300 policy, and most people aren't going to spend $700 on a policy, so we'll sell them $300. Or maybe they just didn't read the fine print. It wasn't even that long, but what I'm saying is the salesperson or the saleswoman's gone because the place isn't there anymore, or it's a different furniture store. So being able to track down and prove like, hey, they pitched us on this, we bought this, but we really didn't check the paperwork, and now I'm screwed. It's my fault. So as far as like getting something not approved or banned, or you're banned from an ad account, or you're breaking a policy, it doesn't matter. Like, I thought I did the right thing. You might think you're doing the right thing, but you still end up kind of breaking the rules. I didn't break the rules. I just sort of screwed up, and now I have to, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I don't know. I haven't even started searching. I haven't even started Googling how this is going to get repaired, because it's not like a cut. It's like missing. She ate it. Like she ate, But anyway, so the last thing I'll mention is I wrote a blog post here this year. It says your app has been removed from the App Store. So this is when they kind of gave us a warning months and months ago. And I didn't care because these were old apps. You can see actually a few of these are Party Slots Reskins. You can't see it, but I'll tell you it's their old trivia app from Elaine Heaney, I think. I bought a trivia app from her, or the template. Here's another Party Slots. Here's a word shout game. Here's a swing game from David. I can't remember his last name. Here's a Flappy Bird reskin. Here's another word shout game, Flappy Bird. Kind of a reskin of this app. So anyway, old apps got removed all at once. Totally cool with it. They're cleaning out the store. So check this out if you want a little perspective. And then that should close us out on number 4. So that's spam. See you in the next question. Okay, question 5, last question. This shouldn't be too long. Jeff asks, I've been reading your emails for a while, but haven't made the jump to publishing my first app. I'm hung up on knowing what apps are best for newbies, why, and what to expect in terms of cost, time involved, and revenue. Thanks. I don't know why I said revenue. It's probably because I haven't ate yet today and I'm getting a little loopy. Great question, Jeff. Yeah, I see this a lot. People are on our email list, or they don't really take advantage of some of the things we offer as far as the different courses and the products and the services, whether it be coaching, dev work, design work, like I said, emoji templates, emoji builder templates, mega jackpots, jackpot slots, different courses. And it's just because they don't know where to start. And maybe that's kind of our fault. We probably need like a start here if you're new section on the website, or maybe have more resources available. So I'm really glad that Jeff asked this. I can't talk. I'm losing my voice. So the best recommendation I could give for a newbie would honestly not be a huge project. It would be a smaller project. So I see this with a partnership I have. We run an app development side and do some design. We have people that come with these custom projects. They're getting quoted, $5,000 to $20,000, and we're usually on the low side. We're usually the kind of people that don't like try to rob you and over deliver on services and things like that. And it gets pretty interesting because those projects could be cool, but $5,000 to $20,000 for most people on a first project is way too much. So instead, I suggest doing something like a casino app because there's a proven kind of system that we've used and other people are still using, or an emoji app is a real popular one. I think that's even easier to do. So it would be emoji app, casino app. I'm looking over here because I'm trying to find something real quick that'll make my point. So the email that we sent yesterday, again, if you're not on our email list, go to MoneyFromApps.com on the lander and enter your name, I think, and email. But in the email yesterday, I went over this case study that I did on a guy named David, and we're in the process right now of trying to get something set up to where he's offering his own course. We've offered little bonus courses on how to maximize your chart-based revenue, but he's offering a more extensive course that we would provide or give the opportunity for somebody to purchase that's interested in that. The best part is, not that I don't think that our stuff is awesome, but we can't do everything. And, we have some of these cool tools and these different courses on how to get you set up, how to get your app in the store. But then once you get it in there, you really have to understand a little bit more how to monetize it, how to acquire these users. And he has done that, and he's not only done it once, he used to, this is something he was doing, I don't know if it was every month or what, but it seemed to be a lot of sales. He was he was creating a casino app with mega jackpot slots, and then he would get it profitable, and then he would list it on Flippa, and let's just look to see if it's still here. Sold listing, so I mean that's legit. And he would sell the app and give all the information and screenshots, and then he would talk about monetization and marketing and buy it now bonuses. These people are spending a considerable amount of money. He's already earned money. You can see here, like this app, he brought in the cost of the price of the app that was sold plus his revenue. He's almost at 10 grand. Now he kept doing this because it made sense. He was able to make a little money and pay for his time. He was providing an awesome service because a newbie, I left this out, and we can't help you on the first one, but for a newbie, probably the easiest thing you can do is buy an app that's already profitable from a guy like this. The second thing is probably going to be to do a paid emoji app because the design costs and the development are almost nothing compared to other apps. And then third is going to be casino, which is a little higher development cost, or if you do it yourself, it'll be very low. And design cost, it's a little more, but it's not crazy amount. It's not a crazy amount. But anyway, he's doing this, and it's very interesting because it's not just one app. He's done it multiple times, and he has his own apps that he keeps. So this guy, David, that's killing it, he's going to offer his own course on how to do what he's kind of shared and told people he would share as a buy it now bonus for people that have spent thousands of dollars and bought an app. And the cost of the course is going to not be very much because he wants to get it in the hands of people because it's powerful information. So I guess I can circle back to the actual part of the question. I already summarized it. Buy an app from somebody on like Flippa that's already profitable and try to get some sort of a training thrown in if there's not a bonus, so you can get in there and see how it's working. Second, buy an emoji template from us, either emoji, a normal emoji, traditional emoji, or emoji builder. We kind of have some cool things there, so email me. Or we're about to do a summer sale for Mega Jackpot slots, and the reason that that's a good one is because it's so scalable and the eCPMs are high and the revenue can be big. But more so, the guy that's had a lot of luck with this, I published a case study on 8 months ago. He's still having success with it. He's about to release a course on how he's had success with it, not how he's had success with selling apps to other app developers, how he's generating this revenue with casino apps using Chartboost to not only get users but monetize users. So he's putting a few $100 in. He's buying ads or buying installs, displaying an ad for the app he creates. Once he has the people in the app, he's then filtering the ads that are going to be shown from the big casino people that can pay top amounts because their apps are making so much money. They know how much a user is worth to them. So if a user is worth $6, they can pay $5 or whatever their margins are. So he's using with his and they also, by the way, these big game companies, they need so many people. They run out of people. Whereas David can generate, if it's 200 to 500 installs, he gets those installs going. He's then displaying an ad for the bigger casino companies that are going to pay top dollar if they click on the ad and install the app, that he's going to make good money. Because I just kind of thought somebody's going to wonder, well, if he can get such cheap installs with Chartboost, why are the big game companies not getting them too? Why are they paying $5, $6, $10 an install? It's because there's not enough installs. There's not enough users. So Mega Jackpot slots games are fun for the users, but what they really are is they're a vehicle to get casino users that are interested in those games into better games. So you publish a casino game that's pretty cool. They play it. Some of the users are going to stay. The occasional one is going to click on an ad and go somewhere else, and then you're going to get paid to get that person into another game. So that's kind of the concept, and then the person that's sort of perfected that is going to release a course. So email me if you're interested in that, support@moneyfromapps.com. Let's chat about it. I did just talk to David today, and he's trying to put the finishing touches on that. The course is done. He's just trying to get it set up to where you can easily consume the information. So they're all videos. It's a video course. And I've seen it, and it looks good. So I think that's about done for question number 5, getting started. You find an app that's already making money and figure out how to keep making money with it from the person that generated the revenue. 2, publish an emoji app that's paid, so you don't have to worry about monetizing people with ads. It's just simple. It's you provide an app, they download it, you get paid. And 3, do a casino app based on the kind of the things that we've talked about in this video a little bit with Chartboost ads. So I think that's going to do it. I'm about losing my voice. If you have questions that you want answered in a video next week or in a few weeks, there might not be a video every week depending on if we don't get enough questions. Email me, support@moneyfromapps.com, and ask away. Questions come in at all times. There's all different types of questions. I'm happy to answer them. It gets me thinking. A lot of times if somebody asks a question and I just start talking, I get ideas for other things. So it's real powerful. It's not only a way for us to connect, but it's a way for me to learn too, because I haven't had one in the last 2 weeks, but there's going to be questions that I don't know. I don't know how to, it's not that I don't know how to answer or find an answer, but I don't know off the top of my head. So I'll have to do a little research and either, find the answer somewhere else, online, talk to my programmer, other app developers, and then get back to you. So I'm sort of a central hub. I'm not saying that I know everybody, but I know a good variety of types of app developers and tech people that I should be able to come up with an answer. So I've said in other emails, I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but I'd like you to try to stump me, because I'm really not going to be very easily stumped, because it's not just me. It's like I have a whole team. They're not in this room, but I mean, if I have a question that I can't answer, I'm going to connect with somebody that I know, like, oh, well, he does it, like Joe, he does this, or John, or whatever, Mark, or he's worked with. There's a good chance that that somebody that in my network should be able to help. And if they don't, I can ask somebody in my network to ask somebody else in their network to find the answer. So it's all fun stuff. This is Todd Smith from MoneyFromApps.com. We are going to close out the app developer submitted questions answered by me, Todd Smith, episode 2. So I will see you in the next episode if there's enough questions to make one. Again, support at MoneyFromApps.com. Submit your questions, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully.